Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Om Gananaham Tva Ganapati Gumbhavamahe Kavim Kavinam Upamashchavastavam Jeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspadhanas Chanmannudivissida Sadhanam Om Shri Mahaganapatahe Namaha Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpada Shankaram Lokashankaram Sadashivasamarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Padyanta Bande Shri Guru Paramparam Om Shri Shankaracharya Swamine Namaha Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Saha Vidyam Karavavahe Tejasvinavadidamastu Ma Vidvishavahe Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.
Namaste Mahodaya. Sheila Shinde Bhagini.
Yes, sir.
Namaste.
Namaste. Yes, sir.
You can go ahead chanting this shloka.
Okay. Anapeksha shuchirdakshaha udasino gatauvyataha sarvarambha parityagi yo madbhaktas same priyaha.
Good.
Gurumurti Mahodaya.
यो न हृष्यति न द्वेष्टि न शोचति न काङ्क्षति शुभाशुभपरित्यागी भक्तिमान्यः समे प्रियः.
Good.
Usha Srinivasan Bhagini.
Namaste Mahodaya.
Namaste.
Samashatro cha mitre cha tatham.
Samashatrau cha mitre cha.
Samashatro cha mitre cha tathamanaapamanayoh shitoshna sukha dukkeshu samasanga vivarjitah.
Krishna Pavani Bhagini.
Namaste Mahodaya.
Namaste.
Nindastutirmaunim santushto yena kenachit aniketasuramatihi manme priyo naraha.
Good.
Lakshmi Bibi Bhagini.
ये तु धर्म्यामृतमिदं यथोक्तं पर्युपासते श्रद्धाना मत्परमाः भक्तास्तेतीव मे प्रियाः.
Good.
Vijaya Lakshmi Bhagini.
Namaste Mahodaya.
Namaste.
Om Tatsatiti Shrimad Bhagavad Gitasu Upanishatsu Brahma Vidyayai Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Sauvadhe Bhakti Yogo Nama Dvadashodhyayaha.
Om Tat Sat.
Om Tatsat.
Good. So you could see the new screen now. Chapter.
Yes.
Okay. So we have completed the 12th chapter, and as we have been talking, we are now trying to understand the Vedantic concept of Tattvam Asi. The first 6 chapters, as all of you are fully now aware, was on the Tvam Swarupam. Sorry, Tvam Tattvam, which means that it was providing a learning in terms of Jiva Swarupam. We were able to understand what is Tvam, what is the human being, what is our own Jiva. So we are trying to understand the Jiva Swarupam in the first 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita. That is the Tvam Pada of Tattvamasi. The second 6 chapters that we did the Tat Pada, which is Ishvara Swarupam. So we understood everything about the Swarupam of Ishvara. So the first 6 chapters we understood the Jiva Swarupam, and the second 6 chapters we understood the Ishvara Swarupam. So Tvam and then Tat. Now the last 6 chapters we are going to talk about Tattvam Asi. Asi means you are the same. Ishvara Swarupam and Jiva Swarupam is same. That is Ishvara Jiva Aikyam. The oneness of Jiva and Ishvara is what we are going to talk about about in the next 6 chapters. Now Jiva and Ishvara are one. There is oneness of that. The very statement that we make that they are one and the same makes us all immediately have a understanding that there is a superficial difference. That is the reason we are telling that they are one and the same. Isn't it? There is a superficial difference. Otherwise, you say the Jiva's Aikyam is not necessary at all. When we say that there's a oneness of Jiva and Ishvara, that means superficially there is a difference between Jiva and Ishvara. We are not able to understand how can the Jiva and Ishvara can be one. That oneness is being talked about, because for us, a superficial level, there is going to be still a lack of understanding that this is different than that. Okay, so we have to really understand how the Aikyam is going to take place. Now, if you look at, we'll take the same example that we have talked a couple of times about the ocean and water. Ocean is the cause, ocean and wave. Ocean is the cause for the wave. All of us are very clear. So ocean is the karana, wave is the effect, and wave is the karya. So ocean is the karana, wave is the karya. So if you look at that way, ocean is eternal. It is always there. Ocean is always there. Whereas wave is transient or wave is ephemeral. So superficially, we understand that ocean is different and water is different. Wave is different. At superficial level, we say that ocean is different, wave is different, right? And if you look at that way, ocean, we all know it is eternal, whereas wave is going to be ephemeral or transient. But if you look at the essentiality of both of them are water. Okay, so if you take the wave is water, and if you also understand that the ocean is water, then there's Aikyam is already there. So the superficial misunderstanding that wave is different and the ocean is different will be immediately dissolved once we understand the fundamental principle in which I need to understand that is through water and ocean. One form is only wave. That is the form that is going to be transient, which is born, which is sustaining, and which is dying is the only form. And that is the only thing that is a wave. So once we have an understanding that wave cannot exist without ocean, and ocean cannot exist with water, whether it's ocean or a wave, both of them are only water. If you understand that everything is only water, we understood as ocean, which is eternal, and we also looked at the same ocean as wave as ephemeral or transient, then there's a big, superficially they were different. So we would not able to immediately see the Aikyam of the ocean and the wave. Similarly, in Vedanta, Jivatma is essentially the Atma or the Chaitanyam that we all have, and Paramatma is also Chaitanyam. That is, we say Brahman. Brahman and Atma we are trying to understand. So we have to now understand that Jivatma and Paramatma are same. Jivatma and Paramatma are Aikyam. Jivatma, Paramatma, cha Muktanam, Paramagadihi. That's, I think, one of the shlokas comes in Vishnu Sahasranam also. So we need to understand now the oneness between Jivatma and Paramatma. Only thing is that we are still confused because Jivatma and Paramatma, superficially we feel that they are different, right? Because we are still not able to accept. Supposing if somebody is able to understand the principle of ocean and wave properly, then they'll understand it's all water. Otherwise, till that understanding comes, wave is wave, ocean is ocean. So similarly, now also Jivatma and Paramatma, we are not able to see the oneness and we see them as two different entities. Actually, Bhagavan says they both are same. Jivatma and Paramatma are the same entity. That is what he wants us to have the understanding. So Jivatma, Paramatma, Aikyam is what is necessary for us to understand in terms of going for the next 6 topics. Okay. Now, Asi, whatever we are going to talk about, Tattvam Asi. Asi is now going to talk about how Jivatma and Paramatma are one. So, though they are superficially different, how is that they both are going to be same? So, once the wave understand that I am the water, and the ocean also understand that I am the water, then the ocean and wave Aikyam takes place. Similarly, if we are able to understand as a water wave, we are able to understand that we are the ocean, then that entire thing is going to be very clearly understood that Aikyam is there. Now, only thing is the superficial difference is there. Supposing if I say Tattvam Asi, if you look at that particular thing, the thing is Tat is equal to Asi. That's what we are trying to say. Is equal to, Tat is equal to Tvam. Tat is equal to Tvam. Asi is the one that is called equal to symbol. So whenever we have an equation, left side and right side require an equation with equal to mark. Whenever we feel the left side looks different compared to the right side, so we are putting an equation to understand and then prove that left side is same as right side. Supposing I say 4 plus 3 is equal to 9 minus 2. At the level of mathematics that we all understand, we understand 4 plus 3 is equal to 7, 9 minus 2 is equal to also 7. But superficially, 4 plus 3 looks different and 9 minus 3 is different. So what do we do fundamentally? We try to understand 4 plus 3 properly. You say 4 in the mind, 5, 6, 7. So this is not 4 plus 3. It looks like 4 plus 3, but it is equal to 7. Then the next case, I have 9 in the mind, minus 1, 8, minus 2, 7. So again, I come to 7. So what we try to do is that we try to derive them to a common thing and then say, yes, this is equal. Otherwise, superficially, they all appear to be different. So the entire thing is that in the case of Vedanta, how do we now understand that is that we have to have a clear understanding of the Ishvara Swarupam. Okay, we have to do a vichara of Ishvara Swarupam and try to know it very clearly what is Ishvara Swarupam. Then we also have to have a clear vichara or inquiry into the Jiva Swarupam. That is also required. So you understand the left side of it very thoroughly. You try to also understand the right side of it thoroughly. Then you immediately understand that left side is equal to right side. And that equation is going to prove that. That is what we are going to now study it. So how do we do that equation in this particular case equation? For example, a mathematical equation, you can say x square minus 4x plus 4 is equal to 0. It is given, then a person who is studying in class 8, class 10, he will know that it is equal to x minus 2 the whole square. Therefore, x minus 2 the whole square is equal to 4. Therefore, x is equal to plus or minus 2. So, the x is equal to something like that, he will be able to derive. X is equal to, in this case, minus 2 only, not plus or minus 2. X is equal to minus 2. They will be able to immediately derive that kind of a equation. So, we have to understand how to manage the x minus 2 the whole square to take it to the level of understanding that it is equal to 0. X minus 2 the whole square is equal to 0. Then deriving x is equal to 2. Similarly, we have to have an understanding of how do we understand the Jiva Swarupam properly? How do we understand the Ishvara Swarupam properly? How do you start going down and down and down and then come to a point where we are very, very clear that Jiva Swarupam and Ishvara Swarupam are one place. So how do we do that? That can be done only with the help of Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. Okay. At the end of the day, you need to have an understanding. You need to start contemplating of the understanding, and also you need to do a meditation of that understanding so that you'll be able to do it properly. But now, the important thing is that if you want to do that kind of a thorough understanding of Ishvara Swarupa, Jiva Swarupa, what is the only tool that you have? What are tools that we have? Tools that we have are Vedantic knowledge we have. We are able to get some of the knowledge from various textbooks like Bhagavad Gita we are doing. We are able to get knowledge of Ishvara Swarupa. We are able to get knowledge of the Jiva Swarupa. We are able to have a knowledge. Then we also have to use our own buddhi. Important thing is that knowledge is available, but the knowledge has got to be assimilated, and then we have got to use your buddhi, and with that buddhi only we are able to do the inquiry of the Jiva Swarupam and Ishvara Swarupam, and then understand that they both are one and the same. So for the doing that one and the oneness, it is essential that the mind has got to be cultivated, the intellect has got to be cultivated. So the intellect to be cultivated, they say that you need to have a sadguna. Sadguna means you have got to cultivate lot of values, which is going to help your mind fertile, so that you'll be able to understand this, and then you'll be able to get into the IQM level. So now one of the examples also to be seen is that you may have a seed. The seed is, let's say, kept inside a drawer in the house. Okay, when the seed is kept in the drawer, is the seed capable of germinating and growing into a plant? It cannot. It will just be lying there. Then the next day, I decide that I want to grow a plant. So I take the seed and go to a place. Say I go to the beach, or I go to desert in Dubai or someplace, and put the seed. Will the seed grow? Seed cannot grow. The seed requires the right environment. Only in that environment, the seed is capable of growing and sprouting. Similarly, if we have to have the jnana, we need to cultivate the mind. The mind is a kind of a, you can think it's a field, and you have to cultivate the mind, or you have got to prepare the mind in such a way so that the seed, whatever we are learning, is properly fit into that. Only with that kind of prepared mind is capable of understanding the jnana of Jiva, Ishvara, Aikyam. So what is there? What is the most important thing that we need to do? We have to start working in terms of the various kinds of sadgunas, which has got to be cultivated by us, which will only make the mind and buddhi fertile. So there's going to be extensive discussions by Bhagavan from the chapter 13 onwards to chapter 17 on the various kinds of qualities that we need to develop, because only a dharmic or a sattvic mind is capable of absorbing Vedanta. If you want to absorb Vedanta, if you want to absorb this knowledge, the mind has got to be absolutely sattvic. The mind has got to be sattvic or dharmic. Then there are a lot of things that needs to be cultivated. And Bhagavan has taken extensive trouble in terms of explaining to Arjuna what are these kinds of traits that we need to cultivate. So we are also blessed to have all those kinds of traits and qualities that we will be discussing in our classes, which are all essential in terms of cultivating sattvic mind. It might be in terms of the food we eat, it might be in terms of the kind of dana we do, it might be in terms of the kind of tapa we do, in terms of the actions that we do. Everything has got an imprint of creating a sattvic mind. So he is going to talk on everything. He's going to talk about food. He'll talk about dhanam. He's talking about tapas. He's talking about yajna. Everything is going to talk in threadbare. So that if you are going to follow this, you'll get a sattvic mind. If you're going to follow this, you'll get a tamasic mind. If you're going to follow this, you'll become a rajasic mind. Okay. Then he will say, you decide whichever way you want. But we have to be very, very clear. A sattvic mind is an absolute necessity as far as absorbing Vedanta is concerned, and only then we'll be able to understand Ishvara, Jiva, Aikyam, because we are talking about the oneness, which are seemingly different for us. Superficially, we are still feeling that Jiva is different and Ishvara is different, seemingly different. Aikyam, to understand, we have to do cultivation of the mind, for which lot of sadgunas are required, which will be extensively discussed along with other topics by Bhagavan in the coming chapters. Okay, so the chapter 13 that we are going to start talking is called Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yoga, knower and the known. I think we also discussed a few times about knower and known. What is known to you is not you. That is the fundamental thing. If you know that something, then it is not you. So that is one of the basic things by which we need to start making inquiry. If I know something, then I am not that. If I know this is the body, then I am not this body. If I know that this is spectacles, I am not my specs. If I know my mind, I know that in my mind I got emotions, which only I know. My family may not know. Whatever I know, if I can read my mind and I know my mind, then I am not my mind. If I know that my intelligence is doing some kind of rational decision making, I know that decision making is rational, then the intellect is not me. So we have to understand that what is known to you is not you. So only in this way we'll be able to understand and then go down to what is the essence of that particular thing, that is the knower that is there in all of us, which knows the body, which knows the surroundings, which knows everything. So that is what is going to be the topic that Bhagavan is discussing in the case of the 13th chapter. And one of the most important things, no, all of us are extremely clear. Whenever we start looking at something outside, we know that it is not me. When I look at a curtain, I know it is not me. When I look at a house in front of me, I know it is different, I am different. I look at a tree, tree is different, I am different. I look at somebody is standing in front of me, my wife may be standing or my children may be standing. I look at them, I know that they are different, I am different. Okay. So we continue to have this kind of a thing that they are different and I am different. Okay. Then similarly, when we come to the body, we never say that this is different and I am different. Up to that level of body, we say that that is different, I am different. That is, my son is different, I am different. My wife is different, I am different. But when you come to the body, we say, I am this. Rest of the bodies in the world, we say it's different. I am different. But when it comes to us, we say that I am this body, I am this mind. So we identify ourselves more with the body, more with the mind. So Bhagavan is going to put a lot of effort in terms of discussing from body perspective also, because all of us, we are very clear with everything else in the world that that is not us. But when it comes to the question of our body, we still have difficulty in telling that this is not me. I am different than the body. I am different than the mind. I am different than the intellect. That challenge is there. So he's also going to put some effort in terms of explaining all these things. And so the chapters now we'll be discussing is all lot of sadgunas we'll be having in between the teachings. And it's a very, very interesting topic that we are going to have from now on. Okay. So the 13th chapter is Kshetra, Kshetrajna. Kshetra means the known. Kshetrajnan is the knower. So it is going to be understanding the difference between the known and the knower. Kshetra, Kshetrajna has got different meanings also, but you can take it at a high level. It is a very clear discrimination between the knower and the known. So that is what is the chapter that we are going to start today. Okay. With this brief introduction, we'll now start. Who is coming?
Anupama Bhatt Bhagini.
Om Shri.
नमस्ते महोदय।
नमस्ते। ओम श्री परमात्मने नमः। अथ त्रयोदशोऽध्यायः क्षेत्र क्षेत्रज्ञ विभाग योगः।
ओम श्री परमात्मने नमः। अथ त्रयोदशोऽध्यायः क्षेत्र क्षेत्रज्ञ विभाग योगः।
गुड।
Sri Lakshmi. Okay. Sri Lakshmi Bhagini.
नमस्ते
नमस्ते। अर्जुन उवाच प्रकृतिं पुरुषं चैव।
अर्जुन उवाच प्रकृतिं पुरुषं चैव प्रकृतिं पुरुषं चैव
क्षेत्रं क्षेत्रज्ञमेव च।
क्षेत्रं क्षेत्रज्ञमेव च क्षेत्रं क्षेत्रज्ञमेव च
प्रकृतिं पुरुषं चैव क्षेत्रं क्षेत्रज्ञमेव च।
प्रकृतिं पुरुषं चैव क्षेत्रं क्षेत्रज्ञमेव च प्रकृतिं पुरुषं चैव क्षेत्रं क्षेत्रज्ञमेव च।
Good. Next.
Lalita Bhagini.
एतत् वेदितुमिच्छामि।
एतद् वेदितुमिच्छामि। एतद् वेदितुमिच्छामि।
ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं च केशव।
ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं च केशव। ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं च केशव।
एतद् वेदितुमिच्छामि ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं च केशव
एतद् वेदितुमिच्छामि ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं च केशव एतद् वेदितुमिच्छामि ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं च केशव
Good. Next.
साई लक्ष्मी भगिनी
अर्जुन उवाच प्रकृतिं पुरुषं चैव क्षेत्रं क्षेत्रज्ञमेव च
अर्जुन उवाच प्रकृतिं पुरुषं चैव क्षेत्रक्षेत्रज्ञमेव च अर्जुन उवाच प्रकृतिं पुरुषं चैव क्षेत्रक्षेत्रज्ञमेव च
क्षेत्रं क्षेत्रं क्षेत्रज्ञं
क्षेत्रं क्षेत्रज्ञमेव च
नेक्स्ट
भानुरेखा भगिनी
एतद् वेदितुमिच्छामि ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं च केशव
नमस्ते महोदय
नमस्ते
एतद्वेदितुमिच्छामि ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं च केशव एतद्वेदितुमिच्छामि ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं च केशव
गुड नेक्स्ट
राजलक्ष्मी भगिनी
अर्जुन उवाच प्रकृतिं पुरुषं चैव क्षेत्रं क्षेत्रज्ञमेव च एतद् वेदितुमिच्छामि ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं च केशव
अर्जुन उवाच प्रकृतिं पुरुषं चैव क्षेत्रं क्षेत्रज्ञ एव च क्षेत्रज्ञमेव च एतद् वेदितुमिच्छामि ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं च केशव अर्जुन उवाच प्रकृतिं पुरुषं चैव क्षेत्रं क्षेत्रज्ञमेव च एतद् वेदितुमिच्छामि ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं च केशव
ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं
ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं च केशव
गुड नेक्स्ट
काश्मीरा भगिनी
फुल श्लोक
Yes. अर्जुन उवाच प्रकृतिं पुरुषं चैव क्षेत्रं क्षेत्रज्ञमेव च एतद् वेदितुमिच्छामि ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं च केशव
गुड नेक्स्ट
राजेश्वरी शिवशंकर भगिनी
नमस्ते महोदय
नमस्ते
अर्जुन उवाच प्रकृतिं पुरुषं चैव क्षेत्रं क्षेत्रज्ञमेव च एतद्वेदितुमिच्छामि ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं च केशव
गुड नेक्स्ट
वीणा फानिश्री भगिनी
नमस्ते महोदय
नमस्ते
अर्जुन उवाच प्रकृतिं पुरुषं चैव क्षेत्रं क्षेत्रज्ञमेव च एतद्वेदितुमिच्छामि ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं च केशव
गुड नेक्स्ट
उषा श्रीनिवासन भगिनी
अर्जुन उवाच प्रकृतिं पुरुषं चैव क्षेत्रं क्षेत्रज्ञमेव च एतद्वेदितुमिच्छामि ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं च केशव
गुड नेक्स्ट
लक्ष्मी बीवी भगिनी
अर्जुन उवाच प्रकृतिं पुरुषं चैव क्षेत्रं क्षेत्रज्ञमेव च एतद्वेदितुमिच्छामि ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं च केशव
Good. One more person.
Sheila Shinde Bhagini.
अर्जुन उवाच प्रकृतिं पुरुषं चैव क्षेत्रं क्षेत्रज्ञमेव च एतद्वेदितुमिच्छामि ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं च केशव.
Good. So in many of the, I think in the Bhagavad Gita, some of the textbooks that we follow, the shloka is not there. They straight away start with this shloka number 2. But I'm happy that this is also there in the deck that I got from Anjana Bahini. And this is a kind of a question posed by Arjuna, which gives a kind of overview of the doubts, overview of the chapter that will be cleared by the Bhagavan. And this is the kind of question that he is asking, which starts opening up the entire chapter 30. Okay, so Arjuna, now he has understood the Jiva Swarupam. Arjuna has also got a good understanding of the Ishvara Swarupam. In the first 6 chapter, Jiva Swarupam, second 6 chapter, the Ishvara Swarupam. Now he is asking a question. What is that he wants? What Arjuna is telling is that Prakruti, there are 6 different topics he is asking Bhagavan to give a better explanation. What are those 6 topics? Prakruti, Purusham, Kshetram, Kshetrajnam, Jnanam, Jneyam. These are the 6 things that he says, Etad Veditu Vichami. I have got desire to understand these things. Keshava. So Arjuna is understood Lord Krishna. He says that, please explain to me on these 6 topics, the topics being Prakruti, Purusha, Kshetram, Kshetrajnam, Jnanam, Jneyam. See, he says he wants to understand all these 6 things. Okay. Now, if you look at that way, Prakruti, all of you are aware. We have studied that in the 7th chapter, Jnana Vijnana Yoga. No? Apara Prakruti, Para Prakruti, all those things we have understood. Prakriti, in this particular case, we need to understand that it is the external world of things. The material world can be called as Prakriti. Material world is Prakriti. So if you say the material world is Prakriti, the objectified world is Prakriti, the ones which we can experience with our senses is Prakriti, then everything that you see is Prakriti. I see a tree, is a Prakriti. I see the river flowing, Prakriti. I see a big mountain, Prakriti. And then I also see you. You are also a Prakriti. When I see you as a form and shape, I see this body. It is also Prakriti. So Prakriti is the world of objects, world of materials, material world. And then all this material world will be able to have an objective experience with us. Okay, the material world means we'll be able to have experience of the object, which is called form, shape, smell, all those qualities. Anything that has got a form or a shape or some qualities are there. So objective world, we have all these things. In addition to that, Bhagavan has also told, he'll be talking about in some of these shlokas when we start doing that, mind is supposed to be subtle. It is not having a kind of form or shape, but mind is also classified as Prakriti. Why he is classifying as Prakriti, I'll just tell you why it is, which we'll be expanding later. Because we know the mind, we are able to know the mind. Anything that is known is not me. The Bhagavad, that is the Brahman and Atma are formless, shapeless, absolutely devoid of qualities. But mind, absolutely, I know my mind. Therefore, mind also will be classified as invisible Prakriti. That we have to be very, very clear. So material world also has got energy in that, right? Material world also has got energy. Energy is also a part of Prakriti. Okay. So we have to understand that in Vedanta, mind is also an object because we know our mind. Anything that we know is a kind of an object. Maybe this object is not having a form. So once you know your mind, you are different than your mind. So it is also classified as an object. So the Prakriti means the world of objects which can be experienced objectively by us. So when you look Kshetram, if you look at Kshetram also, all of you know, we say Dharma Kshetre, Kurukshetre, that's a place. Kshetram can also be taken as a place. Kshetram can also be taken as a kind of a world of objects. Okay. So Prakriti and Kshetra, these two things are synonymous words. Okay, we tell you small explanation of that also will be coming in. So Prakriti and Purusha are synonymous, which are all the world which we experience in our day-to-day living. Okay, then he is now talking about Purusham, Kshetrajnam, and Jneyam. Purusham is supposed to be the Chaitanyam that we have in us. Okay. Now you have a body has fallen, you find a dead body. When the dead body is there, then what is not there in the dead body? Kshetram is already there. But something else was missing in that body. The Chaitanya was missing in that particular body. So it is this body, when it is lying down, we say it's a jada. When you look at a hill, we say it's a jada. When you look at this body lying down, we say it's a jada. So jada, that is the body that we have, plus Chaitanyam that is there in the body. Jada plus Chaitanyam only makes ourselves sentient. Okay. When the sentience is not there, then the body is Jada. So the body is Jada, Prakriti. Okay. So Purusham is the Chaitanyam. The Purusham is a Chaitanyam, because of which the body becomes sentient. In the absence of Purusham, this becomes a Jada. So Purusham is, we have to understand that Purusham concept also. Okay, Purusham. Similarly, Kshetrajnam is the knower. A known knower we have talked about. Kshetram is the known field. Kshetrajnam is the knower of that. So if you look at the analysis that we do, known and the knower, Kshetrajnam is the knower. So Kshetrajnam and Purusham are synonymous. Another thing is that Jneyam. If you look at Jneyam, Jneyam is something to be known. It's called Jneyam. What is to be known by all the discussion that we are having? We are having a discussion to know the Atman in us. We are trying to understand the Parabrahmam. We are trying to understand the Brahman. So that what is that we want to know? Jneyam, to be known. What is to be known? Jneyam. Jneyam is what? Atma. So if you look at that way, Purusham, Kshetram, Purusham, Kshetrajnam, and Jneyam, all these three things are synonymous. They are all the Chaitanyam. They are all equal to Chaitanyam. So first one we talked about Prakriti and Purusham, Prakriti and Kshetram are Jada. Purusham, Kshetrajnam, and Jneyam are Chaitanyam. Okay. Then, so these two things we have now discussed. One is the Chetana. Chetana portion of it is what? Purusham, Kshetrajnam, Jneyam is Chetana portion. Achetana portion is Prakriti and Kshetram. And then the third one that we'll be talking about is Jnanam. What is Jnanam? Jnanam is by which we are able to understand ourselves. We need to have the Jnanam, the knowledge. Because of the knowledge, we are able to understand Jiva Ishvara Aikyam. So anything that contributes to the knowledge of understanding the Jiva Ishvara Aikyam is called Jnanam. And in the 13th chapter, lot of values also will be discussed. All those values are what? They are all going to help you in terms of understanding Jiva Aikya Swaru, Jiva Aikya, Jiva Ishvara Aikyam. So all those values that we'll be talking not only in this chapter, in the chapter that's going to come, are also to be understood as Jnanam. It may be a Sadguna, it can be quality, it can be a value, systems. Those values are required to be cultivated to have a Sattvic mind. Only a Sattvic mind is capable of understanding Vedantic knowledge and understanding itself. So all those values also, from the context of the chapters from 13 to 17, we should understand that they are also Jnanam. So, Jnanam is the kinds of things that you have, upayam that you have to understand oneself. That is one thing, which will be now divided a lot of qualities that we'll be talking about, wonderful qualities we'll be talking about. Then Chetana or Chaitanyam is Purusham, Kshetrajnam, and Jneyam, and Jada or Achetana is Prakriti and Kshetram. So these are the 6 topics that Arjuna wants to ask Bhagavan to explain. I hope all of you are clear about it. There could be some confusion, but I hope all of you are clear about it. Otherwise, we'll take it up during our free time after 3:50. Okay. Next.
Bhanureka Bhagini.
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha idam shariram kaunteya.
Shri Bhagavanuvacha idam shariram kaunteya idam shariram kaunteya
Kshetramidya vidhiyate.
Kshetramidhyabhidhiyate Kshetramidhyabhidhiyate
Idam shariram kaunteya. Kshetramidya vidhiyate.
Idam shariram kaunteya Kshetramidhyabhidhiyate Idam shariram kaunteya Kshetramidhyabhidhiyate.
Next.
Gurumurthy Mahodaya.
Yetat yo veti tam prahuhu.
एतत् यो वेत्ति तं प्राहुः एतत् यो वेत्ति तं प्राहुः
Kshetrajna iti tadvidah.
क्षेत्रज्ञ इति तत्विदः क्षेत्रज्ञ इति तत्विदः
Yetat yo veti tam prahuhu. Kshetrajna iti tadvidah.
एतत् यो वेत्ति तं प्राहुः क्षेत्रज्ञ इति तत्विदः एतत् यो वेत्ति तं प्राहुः क्षेत्रज्ञ इति तत्विदः.
Next.
Rajalakshmi Bhagini.
Idam shariram kaunteya. Kshetramidya vidhiyate.
idam shariram kaunteya kshetramithyabhidhiyate idam shariram kaunteya kshetramithyabhidhiyate.
Good. Next.
Sri Lakshmi Bhagini.
Yetat yo veti tam prahuhu. Kshetrajna iti tadvidah.
एतद्यो वेत्ति तं प्राहुः क्षेत्रज्ञ इति तद्विदः एतद्यो वेत्ति तं प्राहुः क्षेत्रज्ञ इति तद्विदः.
Good. Next.
Lalita Bhagini.
Shri.Bhagavanuvacha idam shariram kaunteya. Kshetramityabhidhiyate. Yetat yo veti tam prahuhu. Kshetrajna iti tadvidah.
श्रीभगवान् उवाच इदं शरीरं कौन्तेय क्षेत्रमित्यभिधीयते एतद्यो वेत्ति तं प्राहुः क्षेत्रज्ञ इति तद्विदः.
Good. Next.
Krishna Pavani Bhagini.
Two shloka.
Bhagavan uvacha idam shariram kaunteya kshetramidhyabhidhiyate etadyo vetti tam prahuhu kshetrajna iti tadvidah.
Good. Next.
Rajeshwari Shivashankar Bhagini.
श्री भगवानुवाच इदं शरीरं कौन्तेय क्षेत्रमित्यभिधीयते एतद्यो वेति तं प्राहुः क्षेत्रज्ञ इति तद्वितः.
Good. Next.
Veena Fani Shri Bhagini.
श्रीभगवानुवाच इदं शरीरं कौन्तेय क्षेत्रमित्यभिधीयते एतद्यो वेत्ति तं प्राहुं क्षेत्रज्ञ इति तद्वितः.
Good. Next.
Sai Lakshmi Bhagini.
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha idam shariram kaunteya kshetramithyabhidiyate etadyo veti tam prahuhu kshetrajna iti tadvidaha.
Good. Next.
Kashmira Bhagini.
श्रीभगवानुवाच इदं शरीरं कौन्तेय क्षेत्रमित्यभिधीयते एतद्यो वेति तं प्राहुः क्षेत्रज्ञ इति तत्विदः.
Okay, so Arjuna had the question about 6 things, right? Prakriti, Purusha, Kshetra, Kshetrajna, Jnanam, Jneyam. So Bhagavan first starts off with Shariram. So he says, Idam Shariram, this body, Kaunteya, O Arjuna, this body, Kshetram iti abhidhiyate. This body is called as Kshetram. So he says that the body is a Kshetram. Etad yaha veti. The person who understands this, we call them tam prahuhu. They are called as kshetrajna. The person who understands that this is the body is a kshetrajna. Who is the person who can understand this is the body? I have to understand myself. Kshetrajna. I am the knower and I know that this is body. When I know that this is body, which is a kshetram, which is also called a kshetram, and I'm able to have an understanding very clearly that this is kshetram, then this is the known, and kshetrajna is the knower. Then whoever is the knower is the kshetrajna, and that is the way the people who understood the Brahman, Tat Vidaha, means those who understood, that is the way they understand. How they understand? They understand that this body is a kshetram, and they also know that kshetrajnam is different. Okay. Now, if you look at that way, idam shariram kaunteya kshetramit abhidiyate. So he is telling that this body is called kshetram, right? So Bhagavan says this body is a kshetra. Okay. Now, why idam shariram? This shariram is a kshetram. Shariram is, Adi Shankara has given some explanations of this. One of the explanations that he has given is that shariram is anything that is subject to decay and destruction is called shariram. Shariram, we call, right from the birth, we have all been told shariram, shariram, shariram. Actual meaning of shariram is that anything that is subject to decay and destruction is called shariram. Shirjamana swabhavata, Shirjamana swabhavatvata shariram. The one that is capable of destruction and decay is called shariram. So if you look at that way, the body is decaying. Body also destroys. Decay of the body happens all the time. Cells, thousands and millions of cells are getting dead every now and then, and millions of new cells are produced inside the body. Up to the age of 40 or 50, the cell production is going to take care of the dead cells. But beyond 40, the new production of cells is going to come down or even going to stop. So the replacement cells will not take place beyond some age. Up to 40, 50 years, these replacement can take place. Therefore, what happens is that the shariram is continuously subject to decay and destruction. And so there's shariram is also called deha. No, this body is also called deha. And I think some of you might have read the shloka in the second chapter. Dehi no spinyata dehe kaumaram yavvanam jara tata dehantara praptihi dhiras tatrana bhukhyati. In that was told, dehina asmin dehe, in this particular body, is subjected to dehi asmin dehi no spinyata dehe kaumanam yavvanam jara. It is capable of having youth. There is childhood, yavvanam, then youth, and then old age, and all those things are going to be there. The body is subject to sixfold modifications. Asti, jayate, vartate, viparanamate, apakshiyate, nashyati. So this body is continuously destroying itself. So this is called a shariram. So kshetram is also called shariram. So it's also called deha. Deha is also one of the reasons why it is called deha is that deha has come from the root word dahan, which means burnt up. So this is going to get burnt up. Burned up by what? There are threefold burnings taking place. First burning is that inside itself there's a burning taking place. Diseases are there. We have BP, we have sugar, we have some other major diseases that is burning the body from inside. That is called adhyatmika tapa. Tapa means it's burning it out. The body is getting burnt. The second kind of tapa burning out, external adhibhautika tapa. What is happening when you go? You got pollution, you got a lot of carbon monoxide, you got all those kinds of toxic things come onto this body. That also is eating away this body. Second thing. The third one is called daivika tapa. That is what is supposed to be, that it is not caused by external or internal, but it is all because of your karma. Because of karma, this body is also subjected to different types of decay. So anything that is going to have a decay and destruction is called body. Shariram is kshetram. Shariram is also called deha. Deha has got threefold ways of destroying itself. Threefold way of destroying itself. One is by internally itself because of the various diseases, externally because of pollution, and we have been born with karma. Karma also will start ensuring this body is going to have some kinds of destruction, and it has got to fall when the prarabdha is over. So all these kinds of things we have to understand. So this with the threefold things, adhyatmika, adidevika, adibhaudika, this body is continuously tormented. It is tormented like a fire. So that's the reason why it's called deha, continuously tormented. So it's called deha. So that is one meaning, shariram or deha. The second meaning is called kshetram. It's called kshetram. Kshetra means is what? As I was telling you just few minutes ago, a seed can grow only when I go and plant it in the right kind of a field. Okay. So the seed does not have opportunity for growing on its own self. The seed requires a well-prepared land, fertile land. Only then the seed will be able to sprout up, right? So we can say kshetram, krishi, all those things have come from that. Kurukshetre, all those things have come from that. Kshetra means place. Kshetra means a field. Actually, it's called a field. Body is also called field because we have got our own karmas. All the sanchita karmas are all there. And all the sanchita karmas are just absolutely in the form of, they don't have a kind of form, etc. But how does the sanchita karmas start fructifying? It's a prarabdha karmas. How does it fructify? It requires a field for that to grow, which is the field by which the karmas can be fructified. Karmas can be fructified only in the field of this body, because we have got a prarabdha which gives us this body. That is also another reason why this body is called kshetram. Kshetram, because like the way the seed grows in a land, kshetram, the karmas have got to manifest itself and fructify itself in this body. So body is also called kshetram. So idam shariram kaunteya kshetram iti abhidhiyate. So only those people who understands that kshetra is different, and the knower of the kshetra is supposed to be the he has to understand. Those people are the ones who are really understood the tattvam. Okay, we understand. So now the other thing is that I don't know. I'm slightly running over. Okay, just I take few more minutes to conclude today's class. The other thing is that, as I told you, the body is jada. Okay, only in the availability of Chaitanyam, this body is sentient. Okay, so you have got to have consciousness, all pervasive consciousness. If that is consciousness is going to be reflected in this particular body, the body is sentient. If the consciousness is not there in this body, it's a dead body lying over there, but consciousness is existing. So you have to understand the nature of consciousness. The nature of consciousness is that it is not a part of the body. It is not a product of the body. It is not a property of the body also. Consciousness is independent of the body. Chaitanyam is independent of the body. Consciousness is independent of the body. So we have to understand that body is different. Chaitanyam or consciousness is different. Only in the presence of that, this body is going to be sentient. First thing we have to understand that. Second thing, consciousness is not only independent, but it pervades everything. It pervades the entire body. Okay. And the inert body, the jada body, has been made sentient because of the presence of consciousness which is pervading the entire body. Second understanding. So consciousness is independent of the body. Consciousness pervades the body. Then secondly, third one is that consciousness is not bound by the body. The consciousness is not limited by your body. Consciousness pervades everything. That's the third understanding we get to have. That is called Sarvagata Vyapi. Consciousness also can be called Sarvagata Vyapi. So consciousness is everywhere. And then the next one, the fourth point is that when the body falls, consciousness does not fall. Consciousness survives the body also because consciousness is there everywhere. Okay. When the body is capable of reflecting the consciousness, body is sentiousness. Okay. So these are the very important things that we require to understand. The medium of reflection is required for the consciousness, and that's what is important. Okay. And the medium is given by the Sukshma Sarira, not by this body. So the Sukshma Sarira is something which is the Pancha, I think we have discussed about that. Pancha Karmendriyani, Pancha Jnanendriyani, Pancha Pranaya, Mano Buddhi Ahankara, all these things. I think Bhagavan will be talking about all these things in the coming shlokas also. Sukshma Sarira is required for the consciousness to get reflected, and the Sukshma Sarira is the one that leaves the body when the body falls, and consciousness is there everywhere. So we have to understand this. So I think I'll perhaps stop at this particular place. Only thing is that we have to understand that our normal way of understanding is that I am the body and the Atma is inside. That is the way we all understand. I am the body and Atma, my Atma is somewhere inside. We have to change the focus based on the learning that we have had so far and based on the understanding that we have about consciousness, that we have to understand that my true essence is I am the consciousness. I am the consciousness, and the body is the medium through which I am manifesting in this world. So we have to understand that our true essence is consciousness. And this body is only the instrument because of which we are able to manifest and then express ourselves in the world. That is the understanding that we need to have, which is will be further elaborating in the subsequent classes. So probably I'll stop with this because I think this is becoming overdose for you. So let me stop here and then we'll just continue from tomorrow. Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha Atha Trayodashodhyayah Kshetra Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yoga Arjuna Uvacha Prakrutim Purusham Chaiva Kshetram Kshetrajnameva Cha Etat Veditu Bichami Jnananyeyancha Keshava Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Idam Shariram Kaunteya Kshetravidya Vidhiyate Etat Yo Veti Tam Prahuhu Kshetrajna iti Tatvidah Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om